we're back. It's Michael White, and here's my co-host.
Anthea Mophitis.
Guys, we're here to talk to you today about a very important subject. I think all our subjects are kind of important, but again, we want to talk about the subject, find the one who brings you home. And we're going to dive into that. We have a video to share and all those amazing things. But I want to say a few things before we get started. Thank you very much for all those that have supported the brand, that have stood up for us, commented, liked, shared all of our content. That's why we do what we do, because sometimes just even one person just makes a huge difference in our lives. So we really greatly appreciate that, guys. And please, to help us grow, please like, share, and subscribe, guys. It's free. We give you all the platforms to do it on. You can do it on Twitter. You could do it on Instagram. You can do it on YouTube. Smash that like button, guys. Help us grow our channel to give you more prevalent information to help you date better.
Yeah, we'd love it. We would really, really appreciate it. We really would. And it is just a matter of like and share, and what a difference it makes to us. And the more people that we can reach, the better people can date.
Think about it. We make it easy for you guys. We even give you guys a 3-minute clip so you don't have to listen to us talk for an hour. We give you 3-minute clips. Like, we're making it easy for you guys. We're like, hey, we'll shorten down the message and give you a 3-minute clip that you can watch on TikTok or Instagram.
Excellent.
So, we try to make it easy for our audience to enjoy the message and enjoy the content across the board. With that being said, we know that today is Valentine's Day, so people are in a lovey, cuddly mood.
Oh, I love it. Yes, happy Valentine's to everybody.
So we know that people are in those vibes right now. Those vibes should be every day, though. But
yes,
again, we know people are in those vibes.
Yes. Some people wait for once a year to get into that vibe and buy their spouse something. They say, oh, Valentine's Day, I'll buy you something today. Oh, what happens to the other 364 days of the year? Hello.
I think it should be like almost like an everyday thing. But again, that's a discussion for another time, because at the same time, if you have all this time to throw rose petals down all the time, then you're kind of falling away from your purpose. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you can't do that. It doesn't mean that you can't, or that you shouldn't show your girl affection, love, and admiration. What I am saying is that if you're doing it all the time, and you still got to be on your purpose, because your purpose is what provides for your family, protects your family. So, you know what I mean? There's a balance of being able to still spoil your wife, take care of her, treat her well, but also and she also needs to understand that you can't be in that space all the time, because you have to be on your purpose. You know what I mean? Your purpose is always going to be number one.
Absolutely.
So let's get into today's video, because again, we're always sharing videos on Monday for you guys. So let's get into today's stream, which is going to be a very interesting one. And then we're going to break it down, and then we're going to discuss it. It's somebody new that I've come across. I think his work is very prevalent. You're probably going to see us cover a lot of his videos going forward in the future. So we really hope that you guys take the time to follow him and his work. It will be linked in the video down below if you do want to follow him via TikTok. So we really appreciate, as I said, the opportunity to be able to share these types of videos and be able to portray them to people. So let's get started. We're going to play the video. It's only like a minute long, and then we're going to discuss it.
I've realized over a period of time, you don't need an army or a fleet or a large group of people behind you in order to be successful. You just need one person. You just need one person who believes in you, who pushes you when you're not confident in yourself, who lifts you up when you've fallen down, who's there for you to lean on. You need one person in your life to guide you through the dark times and to be that person, that partner that helps you become a better individual. Because what that one person will do is give you hope. And hope is a very dangerous thing, but it's also the most powerful things that we have as humans. Because when someone has hope, you can't stop them. You can't stop that belief. You can't kill it. As long as that hope exists, that person will continue going. And a lot of times in life, all we need to do is keep going a little bit longer than we think we need to do in order to get to where we need to be. I've realized over a period of time, you don't need an army or a fleet or a large group of people behind you in order to be successful.
So true, isn't it? We're muted.
Oh, sorry. Is there anything that you want to add before we go into it?
That was it's just, you know what? It's like hardcore truth, isn't it? You only need one person. You don't need an army of people. When you have that one person who believes in you, like he said, hope can be dangerous, but also hope could be everything, because without hope, you can give up just like that and go down a really deep rabbit hole. So I fully resonate with that. And I know that when I've had somebody having my back and believing in what I do, it makes me want to continue and want to go on. And I think there's nothing more powerful than that, Michael. There really isn't, because it gives you confidence and it gives you that oomph, and it gives you the thing to want to go and continue to do what you're doing. And like he said, most of the time you're like I don't know how exactly what words he just used just now, but you could just be, you're right at the finish line and you can't see that finish line, and people just give up just before they hit that finish line to reach where they're going. And I think when you have somebody there, that finish line, you will overcome every time. You go past that finish line and you start your next venture and your next, because you've got that loving and dominant support around you.
I agree with that. I'm going to actually add something very unique to the perspective. I agree with him, but I'm also going to say is it needs to be the right person.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's what I'm going to expand on, because the thing is, we've all had people there for us, but they weren't the right person. That's the thing, you see, because when it's the right person, it's right.
Yeah, but I think if it's the right person at the right time, because I believe in that timing as well, because if there's something going on in your life and you've got somebody there who at that time is the right person for then, and they might not be the person you end up with long term. However, they might be around for just a year, I don't know, 6 months, whatever, but they seem to have showed up at a time that you could have really done with somebody's support and belief in you. And sometimes I do believe that people are sent to you for a certain amount of time to help you through adversity, and then it comes to a point where their job is like done as such, and now there's no longer serving a purpose for you both. But it doesn't mean you go off and you're enemies or anything. It just means that it's no longer serving its purpose. It was there for that time, for that reason, and now it's time for you guys to go your own way. So yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard pill for me to swallow.
Yeah.
No, but like as you said, understanding that their work is done.
Yes.
And then the moving on part, because again, you've developed an attachment to this individual now.
Yes.
Right. So when you understand that their work is done, you don't want it to be done because of the attachment.
Absolutely. And that's where people hold on and drag it out to the point where now it becomes the enemy side of things, rather than if you just took it for what it was at the time, and just gladly said, it's like, the thing is, there is no definite time where you can say, okay, this is your time, your job's done at this particular time. You don't know that, but you kind of know as you go on that actually this is the time where we need to walk our own way. But like you said, it's one of those, it's a very hard pill to swallow, because you do have an attachment to people. You do want them to be around, and especially if they've been there for you, especially if they've seen you through adversity, or they've helped you overcome something and you jumped hurdles together. Like, you don't want that person to walk away, because you're just like, well, why would you walk away, or why would we walk away from one another? So I think we've really got to look at what is happening and understand it, so that we can just swiftly move through life, rather than have this battle in life, with our
Well, I
partners.
think it's understanding that just like anything else in life, seasons end.
Yes.
And you need to feel comfortable with that.
Yes.
Now, sometimes is it a hard pill to swallow? Yeah. Because again, you've developed an attachment, maybe a physical one, an emotional one. And it's really understanding, I think, more than anything. And again, I think this is very important to finding your one, is just being present. And who do you want to do a 40 to 50 year stretch with? That's how I kind of view it, is in life, again, because we never know when our time's up, right? So you have to ask yourself, could I do a 40-year stretch with them? And what that means is, could you be married to this individual for the next 40 years of your life?
Yeah. And I suppose that is the one that, find the one who brings you home, and that feeling of homecoming, that feeling of,
I could do 40 years with you.
yeah. And you just feel like you're with yourself, in the sense of,
Because
like,
they're a reflection of you.
yeah, because otherwise you're going to do 40 or 50 years with yourself regardless, like, as in, as long as you're still on planet Earth, you're always going to be with yourself, so having a person that feels just as much as being with yourself, I think, is that feeling we're talking about, right?
Pretty much, because it's like when you date someone, they're a reflection of you. So then it's like you are doing the 40-year stretch with yourself.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So that's why I really think that it is very important for you to know who you are, so you could attract your reflection, because that person will bring you home.
And if you don't like who you are, you're going to attract somebody that you're going to start picking out everything you don't like about them, because you don't like things about yourself. So like Michael just said, it's a pure reflection. And I think it's a massive thing that people really don't take on board, and they spend a lot of time, pointing the finger to say that the other person is wrong. But if they look at their own characteristics and their own ways, they'll realize that exactly that. It's just a reflection. You're just looking in the mirror, man, and that person's just showing you what you're about. So take notice and don't judge, and look at yourself. So when you go to judge, look back at you to say, what is it, if I'm seeing that in them, what am I doing? Like, what's in me? Because that's obviously what's in you too. Otherwise, it couldn't
That's why
be there.
mate selection is so important, because if you're treating somebody that you haven't taught them how to treat you properly, and they have very destructive behaviors, and you're entertaining that long term, it shows more about your character and how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you want love from somebody that doesn't want to give love, or they're not in a space to give it, and they treat you poorly. Because again, we're going to talk about that this week, and that's the mental weddings. But it shows literally when you're pursuing somebody that's not pursuing you, how you really feel about yourself. Because that's why reciprocation is so important. Because if somebody loved you and you loved them, the reciprocation would just be fluent.
Natural. Yeah.
It'd be organic.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to beg them for time.
Nope.
You wouldn't have to beg them for attention. You wouldn't even have to beg them for bedroom fun. Everything would just be natural and genuine. It would just literally flow like a river. But if there's a lot of resistance, or there's poor treatment, or bad behavior, then that really shows you how you really feel about yourself.
You're allowing that. The fact that you're allowing that, you're not looking after you, and you're not loving on you, because you're allowing that behavior in the first place, right? It's Yeah, it's actually really powerful. And I think, it could save a lot of people going through a lot of adversity in their relationships if they understood this fact. And it is a fact, nothing's outside of ourselves. Everything is within us. So it's how we see things. And if we allow certain behaviors, then why are you allowing it? You're allowing it because you're not respecting yourself. You're not loving on yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't allow those behaviors in the first place. You wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have someone just come into your house and start smashing your house up and not do something about it. Some stranger. Like, you would do something about it. So why would you allow someone that you're dating to, not saying that that's what's happening, but I'm just going to the extreme here. There's so many scenarios are out there that happen, and people just complain about it, but they don't look at why are they allowing that to happen in the first place.
Well, that's why, as I said, like with today's message, is it's very important to find somebody that brings you home, as in the sense of they bring you more peace than disruption.
Yes.
They bring you solutions. They bring you understanding. If you're a male, they bring you leadership. If they're a woman, they bring you compassion. And that's why it's so important, as he said, like in the shortest message, to literally find somebody that brings you back to a place of peace, makes you go to places that you never thought you could go to. And I'm talking about like good places, like places of being able to trust people again, being able to love people again, being able to be patient. I'm talking about those type of places.
But I think all of those, what you just mentioned, to trust people again, you've got to trust yourself, and you've got to trust your judgment, and to love people again, you've got to love yourself to be able to pour that love into others,
Oh,
So,
100%. But you'll always have that mistrust with somebody when you date them at the beginning, because even though they're you want to make sure they are a reflection of you, there's always going to be that mistrust, because it's like you're putting your heart outside of your body into someone else. So there's always going to be that small form of mistrust.
yeah, but I think again, if you find someone that's a homecoming feeling, that you're just there with that mistrust,
It fades away. Like I'm like it fades away.
yeah, very quickly. Like, it could be the first just few days that you just feel not, I don't know, because you've just met them, so you don't know nothing about them. You don't know who they are, where they're from, and until you know just a few bits and pieces, and you feel the vibe between you, and you feel the feeling between you, or the conversation, how it flows, then you know from there, really. But again, that's down to you to be able to think it, feel it, and know it in yourself first, to know, like, it's that judgment that you're making towards another person.
And
Yeah,
also using that level of discernment, right? Because as I said, like when you date somebody, they should be a reflection of you, 100%. So if you have mistrust going on in your heart, lack of compassion, sometimes you might be too hard on yourself, that person's going to reflect that. But the thing is, at the same time, if you two can come together and you can acknowledge that about each other, those walls start to come down. Because you start to notice, you're like, damn, like this person's firing on all cylinders just like I am. And then the trust starts to come back, and all of it. So I always like to say that when you find the one that brings you home, they're your heart outside of your body.
that's so cool. I like that.
That's what I like to look at it. So, and a very important message that someone said to me that was, whew, it hit home, and I'll make the statement, and it was this: I would never break your heart, because it's like breaking my own.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And I honestly think that when you find somebody that cherishes your heart just as much as they cherish their own, I honestly think that you found your home base at that point. Because when you're dating someone or you're in love with somebody, you would never want to break their heart, because it's breaking their own. So I'm talking about cheating, infidelity, anything to compromise the relationship in any shape, way, or form.
That's very true. That's very true, because you wouldn't, would you?
No.
Because you have that respect as well, and like you just said, if you're going to speak about it, say someone's noticed that they react very quickly to something, but then your partner does the same, and then you sit down and you go to each other. You know what? Both of us are reacting to things quite quickly. Like, what can we do to improve ourselves on this certain aspect of us? And then you're both working together on yourself, but ultimately on one another, because you're by you working on you and him working on himself, and you're both recognizing what's there, then you both can laugh about it too and be able to make light of the situation, because you're not taking it really seriously. You're just recognizing these things about yourselves, so you're able to move past that and through that and come to the other end. And then the next time you see, oh wow, we stopped, we didn't react in that moment, and you're both reflecting that. And it's empowering for one another to see that in a partnership, to be able to grow together and have that growth mindset as such, to say, okay, that's what it was, but this is what we're working towards, and this is what it now is. We're no longer there, we're now here. And that solves everything, right?
See,
Well,
I agree with you 100%, because sometimes I can get really reactive when I'm not being heard. And I'm not gonna say like the evil side of me comes out, but like I like to call him Bad Man Mike.
Bad Man Mike.
So what happens is as I get frustrated and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this right now. Right. And especially when it comes to dating, right? So over time I've kind of realized that I need someone that's like, no, we're dealing with this right now. We're hashing this out right now. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you want to deal with. I don't want to go to bed angry or frustrated with you, or for us to have a day where you're like, man, I'm so angry with them. That's realize that that's the type of person I need.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, you're not listening, or XYZ. And I'll just be like, oh, I gotta go. Or I'll give like very dismissive behavior. And I've noticed this about myself, because that's part of we all have a different side to us. Nobody's like sunshine and rainbows, and what I mean? Like not even me and Anthea, we're not people,
definitely not.
That's why I say, like, in Jamaican, they call him the bad man. So, for me, I have that bad man side of me where I'm like, I've had enough. You're frustrating me. And I try to like push the person as far away. I don't want to talk to you right now. But I've always noticed that I need somebody that pulls me in instead of pushes me away when I get like that. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You also have to be able to understand that the person that brings you home will never push you away. They'll always pull you close, especially when they notice that you are pushing them away.
Yeah.
Because that's just a defense mechanism for saying,
I'm hurting right now. Yeah.
Not like I'm hurting, but more of as a sense of I want embracement.
Yeah.
Like when you're getting like you're being dismissive and pushing them away, it's like, no, I want embracement.
Yeah.
In this moment.
It's to say, like, it's okay. Like, everything's all right in that sense. It's not because I think one of the worst things that people experience in a relationship is going to bed angry and not communicating what the problem is, or communicating what the problem is, and not coming to a solution, and then going to bed and waking up with that feeling, oh man. And I remember experiencing that, and I have literally vowed to myself, I will never ever allow myself in that situation again, because I want to wake up fresh in the morning. I want to wake up ready for a new day.
In that situation, and I'm glad that you brought that up, you would need to deal with somebody that is going to want to talk it out now.
Yes.
No matter how they're feeling, because that's the thing. You see, everybody's different. Some people don't want to talk. Yeah. Some people want to go. I need my space. Sorry, guys, give me a minute. Like whatever. So it depends on the person you're dealing with, right? Because sometimes as men, we don't want to talk. because we don't communicate the same way women do.
No, that's
Women
right.
want to talk it out. Sometimes as a man, we need like a minute. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like give me like an hour and I'll like sort it out and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah. But I think it's the feeling you leave behind. As long as you can settle in the feeling before, or in some kind of words before you walk out that door and give yourself that hour. Because I'm sure, like for me, I'd be more than happy for my man to walk out for an hour, and come back and we speak about it.
Yeah.
However, if he walks out with anger and frustration and all of that, then that's left an energy within me, and left this feeling around me that I don't know what to do with myself. And how do you deal with that? So I think, yes, everyone is entitled to be able to, and I think everyone should have that minute to themselves so you don't react in that moment. I think everyone should be able to take that time, but it's soothing the moment before you go and take that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like obviously telling the person like, hey, this is going nowhere. I need a minute.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. Because the person in that moment fears that you're either going to leave or whatever. But if you help them understand to say, hey, I just need a minute, I'll be back.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
Because that's the thing. Women don't communicate like men do, and men don't communicate like women do.
That's right. I think there's a big confusion in the world as well, that women think that men should be the same as them and they should understand the way, but it doesn't work. We're two completely different species in that sense. We're completely different. We don't work the same.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the one that brings you home would understand how you communicate. They're not going to force you to communicate the way they do.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They're not going to force you to communicate how they do. So it's like if you have a woman that you call your home, she's not going to force you to talk when you don't want to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing like with a man. It doesn't mean that men don't talk. It's just our communication standards are different.
Completely.
Sometimes we need some space. We need some time to figure it out. It's the same thing with some women. Some women don't want to talk. They need the space and time to process the information. And some women, on the other hand, want to talk about it now. Yeah. So it's just understanding of who you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Understanding it, and if they're the person for you when they actually, you understand one another like that, and you give each other that time and space if that's what's needed, and you're not like demanding them to be something other than them not. Like someone, let's say a woman says to a man, yeah, but I want you to talk about it now, and they say, I want it now, and he's like, listen, I don't deal with things like that, just give me a minute. She's like, no, if you walk away, that's it. Let's say that's what's being said. Then you know that woman isn't for you, because she's not there. She's not understanding you. She's not getting where you're coming from. And I think it's the same way for a guy. If a guy is saying to the girl, no, you're not taking 5 minutes out. No way. I want to deal with this right now. And approaching it in that aggressive manner still, I think you've got.
All I'm saying is it shouldn't go on more than a day.
No. Oh, goodness, no. I think a day is too long as well, Michael.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, let's say you need like an hour or two to sort yourself out, then you come back and that's it.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to go for a walk and breathe it and clear your mind and gather what's just happened and why it happened and why you reacted in a certain way, why did she react in a certain way. Or I think you just, we've got to digest things, and we've got to give ourselves that time. Like when we sit down to eat our meal, we don't just scoff it all at once. No. And no, we take our time, we eat it, we enjoy it. So we need to understand the same with us. We need that time to ourselves. And it's not a bad thing. People think it's a bad thing. Oh, he's just walked off, or oh, she's just walked off. But it's actually no. If they've communicated to you, I just need a bit of time, allow them that time. You'll be amazed what happens.
And your home will understand that.
Yes, your home will understand that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So guys, this one was going to be a short one. We wanted to keep it short and sweet for you guys. We know you guys are off doing Valentine's Day things, maybe shooting each other with arrows. I don't know, but we'll definitely see you guys Wednesday. as I said, you guys definitely want to stay tuned because we have some great topics this week. So Wednesday is about mental weddings and how to get over them, because a lot of people put themselves in mental weddings. And then Friday is going to be a juicier one, because should you take back an ex? So I don't think you guys really want to miss out on anything that we have to say. As we said, guys, look, like, share, subscribe. We give you guys all the platforms to do it. As I said, we even chop it down for you guys and give you guys a 3-minute video, so you don't have to listen to talk for an hour. So, the least you could do is like, subscribe, share, pass the message on. And as I said, and I'm always going to say this again, I'm going to say 2 things before we go. We're not looking to change the space. We are not. Well, Anthony is a coach. I'm not, but we just like conversation. The conversations open change. That's, for me, that's how I look at it. If we can have a conversation about uncomfortable truth, it brings change. So that's what we're just trying to do to the space. And also on top of that, guys, look, if you guys are looking for, and again, if you guys want like Instagram clips done or YouTube clips done, look, we even provide our social media team down below for you guys to use their services outside of us. So, you know what I mean? Because I know that a lot of people love our Instagram clips. They're pretty popular. And we're going to be growing that. So if you guys want something similar like that done, or want your social media managed, we provide the link down below for you guys to have a social media management team for, support like what they do for us. And they'll do everything: banners, YouTube clips, whatever you need. So we also provide for the tools for your business. If you guys are thinking of getting into business or podcasting or content creation, we provide the link for them down below for you to get in contact with them. So with that all being said, guys, we're going to cut this one a little short today, but Wednesdays and Fridays will be a little longer. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys on those days. So take care.
Have a fantastic Valentine's Day, everybody.